Well, good evening, everyone. This is meteorologist Chris Lasakis here. I just wanted to take a minute. There has been a tornado warning issued for parts of eastern Lauderdale, northern Lawrence, and western Limestone counties. And I just wanted to real quickly take a moment here and pull up Gibson Ridge software. This is some software I use to track severe weather. And right now it's looking like it's mostly large hail. There is rotation. It looks like it's backed off in the last few scans or last scan, so within the last 5 minutes. But there absolutely is still rotation there, focused just to the north of Town Creek and west of Lauderdale, in eastern Lauderdale County, west of Rogersville. And so putting it in motion over the last 3 or 4 scans, about the last 25 minutes, you can see a severe thunderstorm warning was issued first, and then the tornado warning about 10 minutes ago. And the cell is fairly small. It's not too large. And so that tells me right off the bat that the tornado threat is not especially high. It's not that it couldn't produce a tornado. It's that the maximum strength of the tornado is not, because it's such a small cell, the maximum strength is not that high. But the storm is continuing to move east-northeast, crossing Wheeler Lake right now, northwestern portions of Lawrence County, and heading toward western Limestone County. So if you live west of Athens toward Coxey, and between Rogersville and Athens on Highway 72, that area is in the path of this storm, and we'll continue to watch it for you over the next few minutes here. I'm going to pause this and take it to the latest radar group of images. I've got this set up to where a lot of this you won't see, when you watch weathercast very often, but I've got it set up to a few different meteorological parameters. This is storm relative velocity right here. This is what we call correlation coefficient, where I'm looking for tornado debris up in the storm. One thing that I'm seeing here with the correlation coefficient is there is more than likely some large hail in this storm right now. I can see what we call non-uniform beam filling, NBF, coming westward out of Rogersville, this little spike right here. That's telling me that the radar volume is detecting many different kinds of precipitation types. It's seeing some rain, some hail, probably large hail in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. But I'm sure that some of that is probably making it down to the surface, just to the north and west of Rogersville right now, as that storm continues to move to the east-northeast. Now, as far as the tornado potential, that has decreased over the last few scans. I've been watching that, particularly on this image here. And it looks like that is not as high as it was just a few moments ago. So that's good news as the storm continues to move through eastern Lauderdale County, extreme northern Lawrence County. Basically right there, if you're familiar with, as I'm sure most of you are, where the Elk River joins into the Tennessee River, right in there just south of Rogersville, near the Wheeler State Park, Joe Wheeler State Park. That's going to be where this area of circulation is right now as it moves to the east-northeast. Again, it was a little stronger just a moment ago. You can tell here by the storm relative velocity, the couplet that I'm looking at. I can actually step it back just a minute. There still is rotation there. It's just to the west of Rogersville, just south of Highway 72. And this particular image is 2 minutes old. So it's fairly recent, but if we back it up, the rotation was a little bit stronger earlier on. Let me back it up just a few scans. Yeah, so right in through here, the rotation was just a bit stronger, from what I can tell. As it continues to move to the east-northeast. Now, one thing that's really good about this environment that I'm seeing is as the storm continues to move to the east, the tornado threat should come down a bit. I don't know if this storm is going to be able to hold together into Madison County. It's possible. The atmosphere is still conducive there, but it's going to be less. The tornado threat will be less as the storm moves east. Another thing I will mention is if you have friends and family or know anybody back here in the Corinth, Mississippi area, this storm was tornadic a minute ago. Good news is the Weather Service, it looks like have they trimmed the warning back? No, it's still there. Okay, so there still is a tornado warning for Alcorn County, Mississippi, and also for, I believe this is Tippah County, Mississippi. So if you know anyone back that way, the chance of a tornado there is The reflectivity and the velocity imagery doesn't look particularly impressive. Let me switch radars on that just for a moment. I won't take long on this because we don't have a lot of viewers back that way, but I'll do that just for a moment. Look back into northeast Mississippi. Okay, hang on just a minute. There we go. All right. So, yeah, there is some rotation there. It's going to be centered right here. So you've got some inbound winds right here in green and outbound winds. So the circulation is going about like this, but it's fairly broad, just to the west of Kossuth. Actually, this is probably, yeah, this is the circulation here moving in on Kossuth now, but I don't think the Weather Service has confirmed anything. Let me go here and look down. No, there's been nothing confirmed back in Alcorn County, Mississippi. So I'm going to switch over now back to the high top radar, and we'll take a look again at this storm, which is what most of us are wondering about, coming into western Limestone County right now. So it is moving east-northeast, and the Weather Service in Huntsville has not confirmed anything there, so that's good. Their imagery is a little bit higher resolution than what I'm looking at here. They're able to see just a little bit more clearly, on what's going on. But there is rotation. You can see this is inbound. The greens are toward the radar, which is located in northern Jackson County. And these reds or pinks, lighter colors are moving away from the radar. So you have a circulation going about like this right here. As far as any debris signatures, let me place this right at the tip of the couplet here. I'm not seeing anything particularly impressive as far as the potential for tornado debris. As far as hail, there absolutely is some hail in this storm. I wouldn't be surprised if you have some, maybe even inch hail, 1.25 inches. Let's see what the warning statement says on this. Okay, so they're saying less than 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, that seems reasonable. The atmosphere is not particularly conducive for hail today. So just a little bit longer, and I'll break away here. But yeah, this storm continues to move to the east. It may hold together for another county or so. We'll keep an eye on it, and if it if it continues to look impressive, may make it into Madison County. That's still a little ways out. One thing that I can do is let's take a look at what we call reflectivity, differential reflectivity. So I'm not seeing anything that alludes to an increase in what we call storm relative inflow. So that's good news for that particular storm. That may indicate that the wind fields in the low levels just aren't quite right for producing a tornado. So obviously that would be great. The vortex value right now is running EF1. So EF1, yeah, that can absolutely still cause damage and property damage and other things, but it's on the lower end of the spectrum, so that's good. There has been, let me see here if there's, turn the reports on. Okay. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still not seeing any confirmation from the National Weather Service. So that's good news. Yep. So it looks like mostly a hail situation right now, folks. Really good news for folks heading toward between Rogersville and Athens. That's about as good news as most could hear on this Tuesday evening, weather-wise. But we'll continue to watch it. The rotation has not ramped up any, so that's good news. Let me get the latest scan. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, still some broad rotation. You can see the inbound winds right here, the outbound winds here, a circulation going about like this. And yeah, never mind that 2-inch hail marker. I don't know, that 2-inch hail, that is possible higher up in the storm, but I haven't checked some of the lower atmospheric boundary layer parameters lower down for like low level stability and how high the cloud base is, but I doubt we're having 2-inch hail reach the surface. I'd be very surprised there. Just to the northeast of Rogersville. By the way, the movement on this storm is 256 degrees, so that's just shy of due west or due east movement at 44 knots, which is about 53 miles an hour. So east-northeast at 50 right now that's probably what the Weather Service is calling it too. Let me see. Tornado warning continues. No, for eastern Colbert County is canceled. Yeah, so they dropped it for eastern Colbert. That makes perfect sense. But yeah, broad rotation, nothing out of the ordinary. Now, this is an interesting signature right here. So what we're looking at here is what we call correlation coefficient. And what this means is as a raindrop falls, if it stays the same size, or snow or hail, if it all stays the same size and the same geometric orientation, then this will be one color. And it'll be what we call homogeneous or homogeneous in science. But if there's different particles and they're oriented differently in the atmosphere, then you will see this abrupt shift in colors here. You'll see a real tight gradient in the coloring. And that's what we're seeing here. So I believe there is some large hail just to the northeast of Rogersville for sure, continuing. And that has been there for the last 20 minutes or so. It's been there for quite a while. So if you know anybody in eastern Lauderdale County between Rogersville and Elkmont, just to the north of Athens, that you're about to get a significant hailstorm. There's no doubt about that. That's almost a certainty. I can't tell you exactly how large the hail will be, but I would say somewhere between 3/4 and 1 1/4 inches, so roughly an inch on that. And I'm not seeing any hail reports coming from that yet, but that does not mean it's not there. You know, sometimes it takes a little while for those reports to come in. Let me see here. A couple of other things. Okay, so they've extended the tornado warning into Limestone County, which I think, yeah, that's a good call because there's still rotation there. It's right here. You can see the inbound winds are in green, the outbounds are in red, so there's a tornadic circulation going about like that. And yeah, it looks like it's going to pass between Athens and Elkmont. So that'd be out there toward Copeland Road, out there in the northern part of East Limestone, the western part of Harvest. I would say that it's most definitely going to pass to the north of Highway 72, north of Athens. But it looks like I'm going to go right down the center line of the tornado warning polygon. Let me put a loop on it so I can kind of extrapolate out the movement here, and I'm going to back out just a hair. Let's see. If you're just joining us this evening, there's a tornado warning. It continues for eastern Lauderdale County. The storm is about to cross the the Lauderdale-Limestone County line into Limestone County, and it's moving east-northeast at about 50, just to the east of Rogersville, heading on the north side of Athens, to the north side of East Limestone over and Coxey, just north of Highway 72. About like this right here is the region that needs to be concerned for this tornado circulation here over the next 20 minutes. Because it is moving rapidly, east-northeast at about 52 miles an hour, about 45 knots. So let me look for tornado debris here and see if I can see anything interesting. We'll look at correlation coefficient. One of the things that you have to look for in this particular situation is hail contamination. So you've got large hail that's falling, and you've also got tornadic rotation going about like this, counterclockwise. So the struggle becomes, well, you have to be able to look past the hail signature and see the possible debris signature if there is one. And I'm going to place a marker in the inflow region. Right there is where we're looking. Yeah, there's some really strong inflow. You see how this correlation coefficient drops out just to the south of the hook? The hook echo is right here, indicating the tornadic circulation. The possible tornado would be right down here at the tip of the hook. And from what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing anything but what I am seeing as far as a tornado on the ground. What I am seeing, though, is strong inflow winds right in through here. Let me check my spectrum width here. Spectrum width is let me check this little signature right here and make sure that's not a debris ball or a tornado debris signature. It's really hard to tell. Let me see what the Weather Service in Huntsville is saying. Yeah, so they're saying Cartwright, French Mill, Coxey, Cairo, Holland Gin, Mount Roselle, Capshaw, and Elkmont. Yeah, that's good on that. But I'm still not really seeing. This looks like inflow winds to me here, racing into the storm, just like that. But I'm not really seeing any. Let's see. I don't know. This area right in through here is kind of concerning. It could just be inflow, but we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, again, if you're just joining, tornado warning for Limestone County, Alabama. This warning goes until, let me check. The warning goes until 8 p.m. local time. We have large hail just to the north that's going to go just north of Highway 72, just north of the tornado, the possible tornado that's going to move just on the north side of Athens, across the northern part of East Limestone. If you're near the high school at East Limestone, I don't think this is going to come near you. It's going to pass to the north out around Copeland Road, out around where the old water tower used to be. Many of you probably are familiar with that area, north of the Chris Wood Golf Course, where Chris Wood used to be, north of the Limestone Correctional Facility. So I don't think Athens proper is going to be affected. Possibly the very northern part of the city of Athens is in the path of this storm. And let me pull back just a bit and make sure I've got the latest data here. Okay, this radar sweep is just 1 minute old, so good. That's real good news. Very recent data. And the inflow, I'm going to put our little marker here right at the inflow. Yeah, I'm not saying, this is good news, I'm not saying anything that just screams tornado on the ground here, but there definitely is a strong inflow region within this storm. The circulation may have tightened up just a bit, but I'm still not seeing anything that screams debris signature yet, which is good news. Thankfully, the severe weather event today has not panned out to be quite as bad as we were thinking. So the vortex value, last time I checked, that was around 5 o'clock. The vortex value was running about EF1. So thankfully not any higher than that. There still is broad rotation though, right in through here. It's really, on a scale from 0 to 10, about a 3, maybe a 3.5. So that's really good news. Still got some really strong inflow winds going into this storm. If you're out toward Coxey, west of Athens, 5 to 7 miles west of the city of Athens, I'm sure you're getting some vivid lightning and strong inflow winds right now. Yep, again, there's the circulation right here. So you have inbound winds in green, outbounds in the darker tannish red. I'm not even really sure what the crimson colors. We're from Alabama, so we'll call it that. But still no sign of tornado debris. Nothing that is really evident here. This lowering in the correlation coefficient up here is hail, and this is inflow winds, what we call lowering in the signal to noise ratio. So that just means leaves and dust are being swept up into the updraft, which is right here, and causing a lowering in the correlation coefficient. Some meteorologists, and I can totally understand why, would get this mixed up with possible tornado debris. But I'm not seeing that right now. This kind of looks like a debris ball, but it's probably not. That rotation is getting a little stronger. So right here, getting just a bit stronger. We'll have to watch that, and just let me put something here. Yeah, see, I'm still not seeing... We've placed this marker right on that area that could be a debris ball, and with the correlation coefficient, it doesn't match up very well. So I don't think it is tornado debris at this time. It could be a situation where large hail is falling out higher into the storm and being swept in around the mesocyclone, which is right here, and causing that spike in reflectivity near the tornado circulation. Okay, let me try to get the latest imagery here. Check on it for you. Yeah, that probably is more of the same, but that's getting awfully close to the couplet here of velocity. So let me check the latest from the Weather Service and see what they're saying. Yeah, so this was at 7:26, so 8 minutes ago. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Rogersville, or 14 miles west of Athens. By now it's probably only about 7 to 9 miles west of Athens, moving east at 50. So that's important. These storms are moving pretty quickly this evening. Tornado and quarter-size hail. The storm will be near Athens at 7:40. I will compliment them on that and add just a little bit more information. It will probably go just north of Athens. So if you're in Athens, you're probably okay, unless this thing really turns hard to the right, which you never know. In these severe weather environments, sometimes these supercell thunderstorms will turn to the right rather abruptly. Okay, this is a good signature. You see right back here where this has got a curl to it? That is telling me that this thing is probably trying to occlude, more than likely. It's what we call occluding mesocyclogenesis. And when you see that little curl, oftentimes that means there's a surge in the rear flank downdraft, and the storm might be trying to close off. So that is potentially good news. I don't, I'm not sounding the all clear by any means. But please don't, misunderstand that. But that is an interesting signature. A lot of times when I see that curl, I've seen that quite a bit in North Alabama storms over the years, and rarely are they tornadoing at that time. So that's good. Let me see. Yeah, but boy, this is a textbook example of inflow wind showing up on correlation coefficient. That's actually really impressive. So again, if you're just joining us, tornado warning continues for Limestone County, Alabama until 8 p.m. We've got this storm that is moving into the western portions of Limestone County right now, moving east-northeast at around 50. And it is going to pass north. Right now it's out near Coxie, or maybe just to the west of you, if you're in Coxie. And it's going to pass north of Athens. So I'll zoom in real tight on Athens here. Unless you are on the extreme northern reaches of the city of Athens, it seems like there's Elm Street out that way. I'm sorry, I'm kind of drawing a blank on what's in the extreme far northern areas of Athens, but this region right in through here of Athens, if you are in this region, there is a chance that you could have an encounter with this tornado if it is there or does develop. But downtown Athens should be okay. I'm not seeing a particularly concerning look for downtown Athens at this time. But just to the north of downtown, and then east-northeast toward Harvest, and just to the north of East Limestone High School, like if you live out there, Copeland Road, north of Nick Davis, then you have a chance of you need to take shelter, for sure. Going back to our storm, let's see. Yeah. The reflectivity is died off a little here. We don't have that ball there anymore of stronger areas of reflectivity, which is good. That probably was just hail that we were seeing earlier, not a tornado. Some of you have probably heard the term debris ball, tornado debris ball. In meteorological speak, we call that a TDS, or a tornado debris signature. That is not what that was. I believe that the reflectivity data and the correlation coefficient, which just shows us how similar is the debris targets within that thunderstorm, indicated to me that it was more than likely not a tornado. And so if we go back up, let me look into the inflow sector here again. Yeah, this is really starting to look good. This is starting to remind me much more. I think it's gusting out. It sure is. Yeah, because we have this along the rear flank back here. We have some winds that are toward, and we have winds that are away from the radar. So you still have an area of convergence, just not that real strong circulation, which is very good news. So for now, the tornado threat looks like it has lessened in western Limestone County, but we're continuing to watch this. Let me see if there's anything new from the National Weather Service. Yeah, they're continuing with so the warning is continued. It'll last until 8 o'clock, 20 minutes from now. But no new wording. Of course, take cover, move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, avoid windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. And max hail size is at 1 inch, and that comes from Kurt Weber over there at the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Yeah, so absolutely good tornado warning forecast there. Absolutely trust this. This is good. But I'll close this. But right now, again, I'm not seeing anything that is overly concerning. Let's check in again here. Okay, yeah, that looks more like we're still getting some inflow into the storm for sure. You can see this correlation drop out down here. More of the same that we've been following for the last few minutes. So that's good news. Let me back out and check the size of the storm. That's one thing I like to do is a lot of times, you get so zoomed in on the storm and the circulation that you kind of miss the overall picture, the big picture. That can happen. Hang on just 1 minute, folks. Let me take a look at something. Let's see. Right here's where we want to go. No, I think that's just continued. Large hail still possible. I don't think it's as big as it was. So that's good news. Storm is going to pass north of Athens as it heads towards the East Limestone area. We'll see if it holds together that long. That's going to be something interesting to follow. How far east this storm will go. I'm going to loop it back about 30 minutes and just focus on the motion of the storm to try to give you the best forecast I can. And yeah, it's going to approach the northern side of Athens here within about the next 10 to 12. About 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes, it'll be in the northern part of Athens, the very far northern part of Athens. So if you're in downtown Athens, I think you'll be okay. You'll look up, look north, and you'll see all the lightning and everything as the storm passes just to your north. It'll get windy. But yeah, I think the bulk of this is going to pass just on the border between the Limestone County part and the city of Athens. So somewhere right in through here, and I'll slow that down. Okay, so on the latest scan, this is good news, continuing to be pretty good news here. We still have that backward curl, and that often indicates what I call occluding mesocyclogenesis. So the storm it had a tighter circulation earlier, and it appears that, at least for the moment, that it has backed off on that. Now it could ramp up again, but just for the moment, it has died back, so that's good news. But if you start to see this little section here start to curl back this way, that is when the tornado threat, from my experience, starts to really go up. And I'm not seeing that at the moment, so that's good news. Let me check back in here with see if there's any wording from the Weather Service. Nope, more of the same, so that's good. Could also check Twitter. I don't want to leave this screen. I don't have my phone on me, but yeah, I just wanted to jump on here real quick, everybody, and do this. And it's my first time, trying it out, and I'll probably do it again here in the near future. But I'm going to stay on with you until this tornado warning is gone. So is either canceled or is allowed to expire. And it's set to expire in 17 minutes at 8 p.m. So we'll see which comes first. But as of right now, the tornado threat is not particularly high. A lot of the signatures that I like to look for, I'm just going to check the motion on this to make sure there's no deviant right motion going on. Yeah, so if you're in Athens, on the very northern edge of the city of Athens, I would go ahead and take your tornado precautions just to make sure. Not seeing anything that's overly concerning. The rotation here is not very tight. There is rotation. You can see here with the outbound winds in these red colors and the inbounds in green. So there is a broad circulation going about like this. And look at this, our backward pendant look here on our storm is continuing to get stronger. So I'm 90% certain that there's no chance of tornado activity here within at least the next few minutes with this storm. Sometimes they can change, shape and orientation as the intra-storm dynamics shift rapidly, or the dynamics within the storm, they can change pretty quickly. but right now I'm not seeing that. This signature here is showing that everything is mostly winds that are convergent, rotating very lightly, but has a strong gusting component to it instead of circulation quality about it. So that's good news. Let me zoom in a little closer. Athens, I wish I had some street names. One day maybe I'll have some better software here. But on the very northern end of the city of Athens, this is kind of what we've been talking about here over the last 10 to 15 minutes. That's exactly where this storm is going to track. So if you know anyone that lives there, I believe we're talking about I'm trying to remember, Elm Street. I think there's an Elm Street. This might even be it here. Kind of out there where the fairgrounds are, just north of that in the city of Athens. Watch that really closely because this thing could change real quickly and decide to tornado. But right now, I think everything's okay. I would be more concerned if we start to get more inflow and you start to get more hooking as we head out here toward the Highway 250. I'm trying to remember the name of the highway. I think 251 that runs between Athens and Limestone County out this way, and Copeland Road. That is one location I can give you. This thing is heading for the northern part of East Limestone. So hopefully, the dynamics of the storm won't change much, and we won't have any bad information to pass along to you. Hopefully it won't get worse. Let's see. Okay, so back to the storm. I'm going to put this at the most concerning part of the storm here, just on the far northern reaches of the city of Athens. Moving to the east, northeast, just to the north of due east is the direction, the bearing this thing is moving along. And at about 50 miles an hour, so it's not waiting for anybody. It's trucking along. And let's see, no, that still looks really broad. That's very good news. Nothing really has changed. As a matter of fact, this looks even better than it did a minute ago. So really good news for Limestone County as this thing trucks toward East Limestone in the Harvest, northern part of East Limestone area. Out there toward, I'm trying to remember where the tornado hit on May 18th, 95. It was out there just on the northeast side of Athens. If you were affected by the tornado that hit in May of 1995, May 18th, 95, this storm is taking an extremely similar track to that tornado. Not that you have that level of concern to worry about. This is not going to be anything like that, 99% certain. But just to give you a bearing on where this thing is moving. Just right through Harvest, or maybe barely on the northwest side of Harvest, and north of Highway 72. So if you live along Nick Davis Road or anywhere near there within, say, a mile either side of Nick Davis Road, you're good. You don't have anything to worry about. It'll continue to move to the east-northeast and get further and further away from Nick Davis and Highway 72 as it moves toward the Harvest area. But okay, so there's the latest update. That is, coming in right now. Let's get the wording from the Weather Service and see if there's anything new. Nope, they're continuing with the wording. Tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas of northern Limestone County, including Elkmont, Hollingen, and Cartwright. Yeah, I'm actually going to say this is going to pass a little south of Elkmont. The rotation, it might be trying to tighten up just a bit more right through here. Let me get my marker on that. And let me see the velocity. Okay, so this is 2 minutes old. Yeah, just on the northeast side of Athens, it might be trying to tighten up again just a bit. Nothing overly concerning, again. It doesn't look like anything. Let me check the correlation coefficient. Yeah, but I definitely would be taking my tornado precautions if you live on the northeast side of Athens or east-northeast from there. So anywhere between the northern side of Athens and Harvest. Of course, Harvest is generally considered a very broad area. That's just us locals, that's how we consider it. The actual, I think, railroad bed in Harvest Road, I think is the actual, the designation of Harvest, the municipality there, of Harvest. So anywhere right in through here. And I wish I had more specific roads to give you. Unfortunately, this does not have that. I'll tell you what I can do. Let me go to, let me type in Huntsville, Alabama here, and I can pull something up for you that should give a track. We can get a little bit more specific on the track for you. All right, so let me collapse this, move in. Yeah, so right in through here is where the circulation is passing right now. Highway 251 out toward Lindsay Lane. And then it's going to cross the northern sections of Hall Road, Mooresville Road, out toward Copeland Road. It's going to go right across Copeland Road. There, a northern part of East Limestone, the community, north of the Limestone Correctional Facility. So the circulation will probably pass between the Limestone Correctional Facility and I believe there's a place where you can pick blueberries out in through here somewhere. I believe I've been there. But anyway, between the Limestone Correctional Facility and the community of Harvest, there at Harvest Road and Old Railroad and Wall Triana intersection, right there. That's where this thing is going to go. And it's been on a really constant heading. And for me as a meteorologist, that is really good because we're able to predict the track downwind with a lot more, ease, reliability precision than if it was, moving to the right and then it moved back to the left. They can do that. And so that really can become a pain as far as tracking them. But let's go back in. I'm really convinced this thing is weakening. This is really good news. See, here's our red dot. And so basically what it does, everybody, is when I put this red dot on here, this is a 4-panel. So here we have the how hard is it raining mode, the base reflectivity. Over here's the wind, where we can see Doppler winds going toward and away from the radar. The winds in green are going toward the radar in northern Jackson County at the high top community, and the reds are winds coming away from the radar. So the good news is I'm not seeing a very tight circulation. Let me back out. And down here's correlation coefficient, or how homogeneous or how the same are the particles in the atmosphere, the hydrometeors. Is there tornado debris? Is it hail or just rain? And those kind of things. So looking into the inflow sector, yeah, the rotation on this has really died back. I think what we're seeing now is what we call it's gusting out. The rear flank downdraft, which is the rear of the storm, is really doing its thing and probably choking off the rotation into the thunderstorm. The thunderstorm inflow that becomes the rotation is being choked off there by that. And yeah, you can see, this is really strong down in through here. These blues are indicating, are probably associated with inflow winds. So if you can follow my cursor, I know I need to get a better cursor that's probably colored for you to be able to see it better. But these are inflow winds into the thunderstorm. So our updraft is located roughly, I'm going to move this a little south, roughly where the red square is. And so if you trace these blues, these are inflow winds up into the thunderstorm, you can see that there still is strong inflow, but the rotation has really died off over the last few minutes. We'll have to watch this back here just to make sure something doesn't try to sneak up on us back that way. But it's most definitely a lot weaker than it was even 10 minutes ago. So that's really good news. It looks like that circulation is almost trying to back build a little bit toward the north side of Athens. So if you're in Athens or just to the east of Athens in central Limestone County, I'm sure it's very windy right now for sure. Let's get the latest wording from the Weather Service. They're still saying Athens, Elkmont, and Holland, Jen. The tornado circulation to me, what little is left, again, north side of Athens, just on the north side where you transition from city to Limestone County, out of Athens, heading north, that area, and then it's heading for Harvest, what is left of the circulation right now. And the tornado warning will continue until 8:50. Until 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Central Standard. Okay, all right, this is starting to get a bit more of a curl to it. Some of you may be able to see this here. This is starting to get a little bit more of a kidney bean look, as we say in the meteorological community. That may mean the storm is trying to rotate back up a little bit. Let me place this cursor here, this square, where I can focus in. Yeah, and we also, okay, hold on. Let me look back here to the southwest as well. Sometimes these thunderstorms, as they transition to more of a squall line, and that's kind of what we're getting. It's kind of a line segment. You can get multiple circulations. So we need to interrogate several different areas to make sure. Yeah, I think that may be what's happening here. So along the rear flank, we probably have some stretching of vorticity back here. I don't know, though. I think if there's going to be a tornado, it's probably going to develop in this one right here. And you can see how strong the inflow is, again, up into that updraft, which right now is really close to East Limestone. So again, I have some friends out that way I grew up with back in high school and beyond. And if you live north of East Limestone High School, that's going to be the region that you need to be concerned about. And yeah, definitely if you're out in that area, go ahead and take your tornado precautions. Primarily north of Nick Davis Road. I think Nick Davis Road is down in through here. So that'd be out there toward Copeland Road and maybe even a little further north than that. I think this is Copeland Road. I'm seeing right here, this little fine line. I know that may be hard for some of you to see. But yeah, that would be, I'm trying to think what's out that way. Hang on just a minute. Let me pull this up. Yeah, so here's, okay, that'd be Harvest Road, wouldn't it? So it's going to be out toward McKee Road. McKee Road, Johnson Elementary School. So yeah, if you're out in that area around McKee Road, that is absolutely where this thing is headed, and it's pretty much there right now. The radar scans only come in about once every 4.5 to 5 minutes. So the storm is ahead of where it's showing here. Yeah, okay, we just got an update. Let's see. Yeah, this little shape, this kidney bean rotation right here, this shape, this is telling me that the storm is probably rotating higher aloft. I'm not going to tilt up because this software sometimes can get finicky and it can shut down on me. Yeah, okay, here we go right here. Yeah, there is some rotation. There definitely is some rotation here, but it's fairly weak. Not getting real strong inbound and outbound signature, but there is some rotation right about in through here, which is where we have that red square. Let me see. Yep, you can see the inflow right in through here again in blue. All this is correlation coefficient. It's telling us how similar the particles are to one another, how similar the precipitation field or the debris field. I don't think we're looking at debris field in this case, is how homogeneous it is. And it looks like the Weather Service, okay, good. So they've dropped the tornado warning. They're going to continue a severe thunderstorm warning into Madison County. So the tornado warning for Limestone County will be allowed to expire. I think that's a good call. There is still some rotation here, but it's fairly broad. There's nothing tight going on here. So that's a good call from the Weather Service in Huntsville, as folks are doing good work as usual. Yeah. And you can continue to see that shape. There's rotation. The hail has actually picked up a bit. So out there along McKee Road, just to the north side of Harvest, you probably will have some hail. So, all right, folks. Well, I thank you so much again this evening for joining me. I'll be doing more of these videos and hope everybody's doing well this evening. And I'll come back on if there's a tornado warning again for the north central part of the state. But thank you so much. And again, I'm meteorologist Chris Lasakis, and y'all have a great evening. Stay safe.